Still seems a bit laggy. Come on, baby. Kickstart. Come on. Okay, I have no idea if anybody can actually see this from the stream or not. I'm currently sitting in my base, and what you guys should see is 1, the base, 2, my profile picture up in the top right, blocking out the actual planet that I'm sitting on because I'm going to be doing PvP later today. The stream may be a bit twitchy because this is the first time actually streaming for me, and I'm kind of curious how this works, mostly. Okay, well I can see chat and everything like that. Well, for anybody that may be paying attention right now, I want you to just go ahead and say if you see anything right now, or if it's just audio. Well, let's just assume everybody can see what I see for now. First off, the carrier is complete, and I'm actually going to be playing with it and showing it off a bit because that was the point of today. But I'm going to be sticking around in planet for now in favor of hitting planet strike targets because there's a few things I would like to pick up. But I have attacked only 2 targets just to see how the carrier looked in game firsthand, and I have to admit it actually looks pretty good. I'm going to have the rest of my group just outright get out of the way of the carrier so I can just do what I normally do. And I do apologize about background noise. There's nothing I can do about that right now. But this is the Sovereign carrier. So excited for the new flagship, which is the PvP flagship, the Prophet, and I'm forgetting about the carrier I just got today. And its energy weapons, they have a weird launch location because they're right along the spine right here from what I've seen. Even though when you spin the model around, it looks like it's got bays underneath the wings for squadrons to launch from. I'll actually see if I can... Right there, towards the back, you can kind of see the bays as it spins. So it looks like they're tucked up under the back wings. I do not know for sure. However, I'm going to farm up a bunch of in-planet targets. And this is all free repair time because it's blocking a good amount of damage, and everything's fairly low right now. The stream health may be a little bit sad due to internet connection, but it still says we're live and it still looks good to me. But I'll go ahead and I'll play for about 15-20 minutes with the carrier, show it off, and then at the end of the stream I'll go ahead and I'll give my thoughts on the carrier as well as other small tidbits like that, as well as a few fittings for my upcoming set of bastions, as well as one of my, what I'm just gonna call my Inquisitor Destroyer frigate for now, because I'm gonna be doing to it. But I've got to admit that multi-shot where it can shoot everything is just a very, very nice addition. Just like that. Although it does feel weird that it carries the carrier name, but it doesn't actually play like a carrier. It's more like a Corvette with insane range. And that's what I'm saying right now about it. It's something else. I'll give it that. But how does it look aesthetically? Let's go ahead and let's actually fly away from this enemy carrier and let's just have a little look. Looks decently well modeled. Doesn't look anything like the other carriers we have. It actually seems to have some pulsing energy shield. I don't know if that's the energy shield I actually put on it or if that's the green overlay over it, but it has something. I can only assume that's a portion of the thruster on the rear. Let's just go ahead and spin around and take a look. Looks like it. Overall, aesthetically, I don't know what to say about it. It looks interesting. It screams Altairian like the other ones, like the other ships, except for it's a bit small. And I say that being polite and comparing it to other carriers like the Ragnarok and the Midgard. Well, actually, size comparison, it seems to be just a little bit smaller than the Ragnarok. However, that damage per second is just stupidly absurd. That was Ragnarok they just vaporized. It's a bit hard to describe. I like how it looks, but how it functions, it doesn't scream carrier, it screams standard ship to me. I don't know what any of you think about it, but does the carrier seem a bit more like a normal ship than a carrier? Because normally, what you'd expect a carrier to be is the following. Granted, carriers in real life, the US carriers, Chinese carriers, all the carriers have onboard weaponry, but they also carry fighters, bombers, all kinds of things like that. This doesn't have any squadrons as of right now. Instead, we can use the drones we've been using for a while. But it doesn't scream carrier, it just screams standard ship because it doesn't have squadrons that came with it. And that was a little bit disappointing right away at the release. We got energy weapons for it, taking away the usability of it in certain scenarios, but giving it a more upfront, in-your-face brawl type of carrier. And granted, I do enjoy that style. The carrier shouldn't be allowed to just utterly decimate anything it closes in to destroy it, the way this does. And the fact it's got 0 energy weapon at close range and it's got 8,000 meters means that it's going to destroy the vast majority of fleets before they ever have a chance of closing in on it. And if you set it up correctly, if I'm not mistaken, it moves at 290 meters per second roughly. So it's not slow, and since it has the ability to strafe due to the Zephyr thruster, it doesn't lose its ability to strafe due to the Zephyr thruster. I am curious to see how it'll actually work out in PvP, because I haven't seen any in PvP, only PvE. But how I'm using it so far, I'm literally just using it and playtesting it. I'd normally playtest the ship. I'm going into in-planet targets and hitting the small targets. I'm seeing how well it does against them one-on-one, and so far it's been taking for repair time and just destroying everything it shoots in one shot apiece. Well, one beam apiece. I would expect this type of ship to be more classified as a dreadnought than anything else because it doesn't really have squadrons, as I said. And it plays more like a dreadnought because it's slow and very, very dangerous. Just like that. It can wipe out plenty of targets at the same time. In PvP, it would be a great counter versus tyrants, and I have seen it used against them. However, I have a few things to say about its beam weapon. First off, the recharge time and the time it takes for it to fire in between cycles should be a little bit longer because I feel like it's firing a little bit too quickly. You should have some space to close in and do damage to the carrier before it fires again. But the fact that it can just simply outmaneuver them and then be ready to fire by the time they get in its firing arc again, like that, it's a little bit lopsided. I think that its beam weapon needs to be altered. Right now the damage is just fine because it needs to be a menace because it's not a carrier again, it's a dreadnought in my eyes. And as it currently is, it's living up to that expectation of literally just decimating everything. Granted, it could use a few other things and a few other aspects. Well, Wing Zero, I would like to ask a question. How's the stream coming through for everybody else? Is it coming through live for all of you and you're seeing a live video and stuff like that? Because for me it's just kind of... I can check the stream, I can check the chat and stuff like that, but for me the game is... I think the stream is actually lagging. Especially whenever I click out due to my network connection right now. And yes, the live streams are long overdue, I do have to admit that, but everything takes time and preparation, which I just didn't really prepare for this. I just kind of dropped myself right into it. But let me know the quality of the stream for all of you. Hopefully I'll be able to improve future streams and make them a little bit better.
Underway. Locking coordinates. Course laid in. Relocating.
But the carrier, my primary oversight of it, it is extremely overpowered in comparison to its standard carrier counterparts, primarily due to the fact that it was released with a very, very, very dangerous, very, very powerful beam weapon. Aesthetically, it looks nice. I would like to be able to customize the color myself and add a few purple highlights where the gold is at and replace a few of the thruster streams with actual purple energy. But overall, it does look good, I can't complain about it. And I keep having to tab out of the game because I don't have a second screen or anything set up, so I have to tab out just to check to see what everybody's saying in chat. But my initial response and thoughts as of right now for the carrier, the only thing I have to say is its weapon needs to be nerfed, and as I said earlier, the firing cycle of the weapon needs to be decreased. So it fires the same way it does now, except for it takes it longer to charge up in between. So it takes it a little bit more time to fire, so that everybody has a little bit more of a chance to be able to close in on it. Because as it is right now, I'm literally just outrunning everything in a planetary fleet, destroying everything, and literally taking no damage for anything except for the carrier. And the multi-targeting ability of the ship is a bit stupid because it's wiping out vast majority of just about everything without any threat to itself. But this stream won't last for too long because once the Civil War starts, I'll most likely have already ended the stream long before then because I will be playing the Civil War. And I'm curious to see how well this will do in PvP, even though I can already guess all I have to do is just turn and run for once. Outrange the vast majority of enemy ships and engage them from a range that they can't fight back. Just a dirty, disgusting move, but kicks I made this carrier, so use it to our enjoyment. damage is just insane. And the reason I'm farming up in-planet targets is because I'm just killing time right now. I'm just exploring how the ship functions and stuff like that. And I'll make videos later on today about it against in-sector targets. But for now, I want to see how it would look. Well, I may end the stream early just to be able to try and deal with the issue of lag. Because that was also another concern of mine why I didn't just kick the channel off by live streaming a lot, was due to lag. The internet isn't always the greatest, especially where I'm at. And if it becomes unreliable, then streaming is going to be nixed, and that's why I primarily make videos. But I'll make another video later today restating everything I've said in this live stream except for without all the lag. So anybody that can hear this, expect a video later today, most likely after the initial start of the Civil War. So you may get a few Civil War highlight clips in the video later, as well as me testing it against other players. That's enough for farming. Let's go ahead and let's jump back to the base. Okay, my thoughts on the ship as of right now.
Awaiting orders.
Well, it's what I expected it to be. It's a dreadnought. It's dangerous as can be, and it has, from what I see, no blind spot against anything other than squadrons sitting right on top of it, but that's easily countered by having another ship around it. That also means that in primary usage, it's going to be very, very good at kiting fleets because it is a corvette with insane range in my eyes. Nerfs are in order over this ship, I have to say that. Its weapon, its firing cycle, it's way too quick. Its high damage shouldn't be allowed to be put out as quickly as it is. The burst damage, granted, it should remain as it is so it can destroy a ship extremely easily or separates damage over multiple ships, but the recharge time and the recycle time of the fleet, it needs to be lessened, it needs to be slowed, it needs to be lowered, it needs to be a slower firing weapon than it is now. It needs a much higher recharge time before it fires again. So whatever the charge time is now, double it. And I would say that it would give a little bit more opportunity for ships to be able to close in to fight it, because other than that, it's just going to turn and run, and you're not going to be able to keep up with it because it's going to outrange just about everything with the exception of destroyers armed with Eclipse drivers, shatter drivers, or anything over 5,000. No, it'd have to be 5,200 and... Yeah, 5,200 meters should do it for range. It should... Actually, no, that's not even enough. It outranges everything, including destroyers, so there is very little counter to it other than another carrier. In bases, that range, well, I've already seen its use in base. Its range is a bit more broken in bases because it can outrange a vast majority of turrets, while bastions or something else will tank the damage for it, but in all honesty, it is effectively a supersized bastion with its energy weapons. And a nerf is greatly needed for this one because bases, I see them taking the biggest hit from this one just because it can sit on the edge of just a few of your turrets, destroy all of those turrets, and you won't be able to do anything about it, and it'll just slowly close in, destroying everything. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Due to the lag and stuff like that, I'm going to check the video out later on just to see how well it is and stuff like that. Yeah. Alright, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this quick little test stream and showcase I guess, of the Sovereign carrier. I'm going to definitely make videos about it later due to stream quality and stuff like that. But if you have any questions or anything like that, say so below in the comments section. And as always, everybody, I'll see you later.